The Israeli military has reported that the number of people known to be abducted by Hamas has risen to 199. It's thought most of the hostages, including elderly and children, were taken to Gaza, but there are few details on their plight. Israeli Defense Forces have also released body cam footage of the moment Hamas militants breached the security fence last week before fanning out in towns and communities and killing more than 1,300 people.
Hamas militants record themselves infiltrating a community in Israel close to the Gaza border. They breached the main gate to Kibbutz Sufa and began searching for civilians to kill or take hostage. The body cam video was obtained by Israeli forces who battled and killed Hamas militants who carried out the massacre. Israel has vowed to demolish Hamas after their terror attacks that Israeli authorities say involved the indiscriminate mass killing of civilians, including children and the elderly. Israeli troops are stationed at the border with Gaza, waiting for the order to begin the ground operation and to attempt to rescue hostages. Israel has called up more than 350,000 reservists.
I saw our wonderful fighters who are now in the front line. They know that the whole nation is behind them. They understand the magnitude of the task. They are ready to snap into action at any moment to wipe out the bloodthirsty monsters who seek to annihilate us. If Hamas thought we would fall apart, they were wrong. We will tear Hamas apart.
Israeli border towns in the south are being evacuated ahead of the offensive.
Yesterday night was like every night, no change. Sleep for 1 hour, wake up and hide during rocket alerts. Sleep again, wake up, sleep again. I could hardly have a shower. I could hardly shave myself. Some things you just cannot do, so you deal with it.
The U.S. has deployed warships to the region to support Israel. President Biden said he's confident Israel will act under the rules of war.
Let's cross straight to our correspondent Tanya Kremer. She's in the city of Ashdod in the south of Israel. Tanya, the Israeli military has now confirmed 199 hostages abducted by Hamas. What do we know about Israel's efforts to bring back these hostages from Gaza?
Yeah, that's right. That's at least 199 hostages that are being held in Gaza. In the past days, there had been a whole, identification process going on. This is why it takes so much time to confirm to families and relatives where their loved ones are. There's still identification process going on for many of those who were killed. And we understand from the families and relatives, they're asking more and more questions. There's a lot of anger as well at the government, why they don't do much more. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met some of those relatives on Sunday. But they couldn't. They didn't get the answers they wanted, especially in the light that there might also be a ground invasion, and that, of course, complicates. To look on the one hand, it should look for the hostages, but it might complicate actually their rescue. We also understand that, of course, there's an international effort because among those hostages, these are mostly civilians, as we understand, but also military personnel and. They're elderly, children, young people, but also they're having, some of them have other nationalities or have dual citizenship. So there is an international effort as well to help and try to see how to mediate some kind of exchange or some kind of, to solve this solution. But at the same time, there doesn't seem to be a window right now. The war is going on. We heard from Gaza, there are airstrikes, a massive campaign of airstrikes. We had just rocket fire also here in the south of Israel, so there's no let up in that, and this has to be done now in these conditions.
Now, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has returned to Israel after touring 6 Arab countries. What can we expect from his visit? What did he bring back?
Well, I think there are several issues here. On the one hand, of course, there are also U.S. nationals among those hostages. There are also some that are still unaccounted for. So this is certainly one of the many issues that the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is working on, also with the help of other nations that are usually, mediators in that case, Qatar or Egypt. He just was in Egypt on Sunday, and also he is working on the humanitarian aid, or on some sort of solution to get in some humanitarian aid into Gaza. As we heard, the Rafah crossing is still not open. The situation is very fluid and unpredictable there because airstrikes are also ongoing. And we also know that he wants to get out some of the U.S. nationals that are in Gaza, Palestinians with U.S. citizenship, but also others with a dual citizenship, but that hasn't happened yet. And also another topic here for the U.S., as we just heard, they send more warships. They have 2 aircraft carriers here and to the eastern Mediterranean, also to make sure that this is not spiraling out of control into a wider conflict in the area, especially also now everybody in Israel is looking up to the north, to the Lebanese-Israeli border, where we have seen a lot of exchanges of fire and the tensions are rising there. So this is another concern, of course, also for the US as well as for Israel.
Tanya Kremer there in Ashdod. Thank you very much, Tanya.